All right, here we go. Episode 51, the OG's podcast. Harry Mays, Jason Martinez. What's going on, Har?
A lot, actually. It's been a crazy week post Super Bowl. We've got trains derailing all over the country. We've got UFOs being shot down, balloons, and football and coordinators getting hired as head coaches. It's just a crazy week.
Will we be the next train wreck to happen, Harry, in the infrastructure of America?
We are a train wreck.
Off the rails already?
I've been a train wreck.
Completely off the rails.
Right.
Off the rails on a crazy train, as Ozzy once said.
Yes, he did.
Before we get to the Super Bowl, I want to bring this up.
Yeah.
You know, I always give you a nice little music interlude as you log on to our site here.
Yeah.
I share my screen, and I'm a little all over the map. One day you might get a little, something like, Gordon Lightfoot, Harry, or something like that. I'm a little eclectic.
Right.
And today I woke up in this mood, and I'm like, what do I want to listen to as I'm kind of getting ready? And I was banging through Pretenders music.
Oh, wow. Yes.
So you logged on to Brass in Pocket, the music video.
Yep.
Of the Pretenders, where she's the waitress and
right.
She's working for a living.
And the rest of the band stumbles into the diner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's got the old diner uniform on.
Oh, yeah. She looks good.
She does.
She has the bun in her hair, and she's sticking did she stick a pen in there?
Yeah, that's the waitress move, right?
Yeah. Right.
But when those songs and those videos and the Pretenders in the 80s, early 80s, and that album came out in 79, I never thought as a kid, with freaking hormones and testosterone pumping through you,
right,
that she was hot.
Oh, wow.
But now, upon further review, as they say, Harry, she was a smoke show. Drop dead sexy.
You're saying now, looking back on 1979, 1980, Chrissie Hynde.
Yeah, not Chrissie Hynde today.
No, because she actually hasn't weathered the storm as well as she might have wanted to, or I might have wanted her to. I was into her when I was 14 in 1979. Like, I thought she was hot, and I was into basically all those lead singer females, like Blondie. I had a poster of Blondie up in my room from Parallel Lines. It included a poster.
Yep.
And Stevie Nicks, Christine McVie, all the women in rock and roll, I was very attracted to at that point in time.
Right. What about Lita
Ford?
Yeah. I liked Lita. She was, of course, from the Runaways initially.
Right, with Joan Jett. Yeah,
yep.
It was another one that I liked.
I never liked Joan Jett.
No?
Joan Jett didn't like you.
She played on the other team. She wasn't interested in me, but that would never preclude me from showing affection.
That's a good point.
That's
a good point, Harry.
Yeah, Wendy O. Williams with the Plasmatics. She was insane.
Yes.
And there was this one. What was the damn name of the band? They were an LA band. I had the album. They had one hit, and it was in that early 80 to 82 frame when I was still in high school. Oh, damn it. The lead singer was this blonde. Destination Unknown?
Missing Persons.
Missing Persons. That's it.
Destination Unknown.
Right. The lead singer chick in Missing Persons I liked. And also the insanity of Bow Wow Wow. You remember the chick that fronted Bow Wow Wow?
Yes.
And they had the I Want Candy video, and she's on the beach in a wet t-shirt with nothing else on, and the waves are coming over her with it was awesome.
Yeah, silver dollar nerps popping out.
Yes.
Oh, that is classic.
Yeah.
There's like a whole list of people like you didn't think were sexy then, but as you age and you look back on them, you go, man, they were drop dead. Plus, Chrissie Hynde played a telly.
Yeah. Oh, classic. Yeah.
And great voice. Wow, Missing Persons.
She was very masculine though. Like in her, like she was like a dude.
Yeah.
In a big heavy leather jacket, And
she wasn't like very like girly.
No, that wasn't her deal. I mean, she was from Ohio and moved to London, and that's where she met all these guys and put the band together, and then obviously made it big time. But she's from Ohio.
Yeah.
The
Destination Unknown, that Missing Person song, I actually used that about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
as a closing song on Flyers Daily.
Wow. It's like,
Because that
can
song
you
popped up.
hear me?
Yep. That
Yeah, they're like all
the
keyboards.
keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to break out the keyboard, Harry, and learn that today.
I should.
You know? Are you still playing the guitar?
Yeah, a little bit.
Good.
I'm playing a lot of golf, including today. It's going to be 60-some degrees here today.
What is going on here?
I know. I love it. This is the greatest winter I've ever remembered.
In this area.
In this area, yeah. This makes me feel like I'm back living in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. It's very similar to Carolinas, right?
Yeah.
Wow. You feel like your game's a little bit more in order, Harry, because
absolutely
consistency?
Absolutely.
Well, you're going to head into a great summer then.
I know.
Yeah, really stroking the ball well.
Look.
Yeah, I like Lita. I went on a little Lita Ford kick not that long ago either. She has a great song. Well, "Kiss Me Deadly" was the big one.
That was the big hit. Yeah, with the video. Yeah,
but she did a song called "Close My Eyes Forever" with a duet with Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes,
yeah, that was later in the 80s. That was like, I want to say like 85, 86 somewhere, maybe.
Yeah. And Ozzy, close your eyes for me.
Does she like guys, Lita Ford?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Too many, probably. She's still touring around the bars and shit, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I guess we should get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we should. Hell of a game.
Yeah, what a game.
Very entertaining.
117 million people, Harry. Huge ratings. Highest in like 17 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I can see why. I mean, there's so much to unpack from that game. I mean, everybody wants to talk about the penalty, and it's a shame that the penalty was called, even though it technically was a penalty, because it really robbed us of what would have been a minute 40 of high drama with the, because Butker would have made the field goal from where they would have kicked it. But the Eagles would have had a minute 40 and probably an extra timeout or two, to try to drive the field and maybe win the game. Yeah, I think they burned 2 after the penalty before Kansas City kicked the field goal. So, I mean, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I don't think, a lot of people forget that part. Like, Kansas City would have scored there.
Oh, yeah.
Very likely.
Yes.
So, that play, the real crime of that play is, you're dead right, Harry, was the fact that they could now walk the ball down to the 1, go down purposely, and kill the clock. That's the robbery of what happened. I shouldn't call it a robbery because, like you said, it was a penalty, but you just never like to see officiating affect the outcome so pronounced.
Yeah.
In such a big moment.
And it wasn't egregious. It wasn't like he had a hunk of jersey and you saw, Schuster trying to run away from him or anything like that.
Schuster didn't put his arms up.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
That he was held. Was it catchable?
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, it looked like it was way over his head, but who knows if he
was held.
If he has a free release. But man, I'll tell you, it was just the tale of two halves. I mean, that first half, the Eagles looked so good, aside from the fumble, the scoop and score, which was an amazing play defensively. Just a weird situation for the quarterback. The quarterback was incredible. Jalen Hurts was awesome in that first half. I mean, Devontae and AJ combined for almost 200 yards receiving in that game.
Devontae was off the charts good.
Yeah, you had a 24-14 lead. And you had a gimpy Mahomes who had gotten re-aggravated the injury prior to the half. So you're like, wow.
Great spot.
We're in a great spot. I know KC's getting the ball. But I'll tell you, I think that 29-minute halftime worked against the Eagles in that situation. I mean,
usually what, 20 minutes?
It's usually like 15, 12 to 15.
Yeah.
They might have had, extra time to work on his leg, extra time to, adjust to do, what they wanted to do in the second half. That might have worked against the Eagles. But either way, I mean, the two plays, and everybody forgets about the punt return. You cannot allow a punt return inside the 10 in a Super Bowl. My goodness.
Not when you have Patrick Mahomes, that you're just making it easy for him.
Exactly. And they went right down the field and scored on the first drive. And the two touchdowns, and this is what is unbelievable. The scheme to scheme those guys open. How wide open were both of those touchdowns?
Oh my God. There's not even an eagle within 15
10 yards.
Yeah.
And to
Crazy.
find out that Doug Peterson was instrumental in that, because the Jaguars ran the same fucking play against the Eagles back in, I think, week 4 at the Link. And Bieniemy, you know, studied it up, did a really nice job, and Gannon never saw it.
Yep. Even early in the first half, Harry, the way they were trying to cover Travis Kelce.
No,
why would you even go into the game?
Yeah, I mean, you can't cover him.
No, he's unbelievable.
He had 6 targets and 6 receptions for almost 100 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's the thing. When they kept the ball away from Kansas City, that's the only way they had a chance to win the fucking game, because they kept clicking off first downs, and they were doing it in the air, not through the ground, except for Jalen. The running game like disappeared outside of Jalen Hurts, which is really something.
Well, Sanders went to the locker room early, banged up, and that probably didn't help. But you know, they get the rushing touchdown, and I mean, what they were doing on 4th and short with the sneaks was, I mean,
I wouldn't doubt that gets outlawed between now and next season.
How so?
Well, some teams are going to complain about that. That you got to, you have to have a certain alignment. You can't have
bunch.
Because, I mean, to credit the Eagles for figuring it out and having a quarterback that can squat 700 pounds, you know, to do it. But I wouldn't doubt that the competition committee says, "Hey, we're going to change that."
As Baldy would say, too much hat on hat down there too, Harry. Right? Yeah. Like, you see how low they get on those side views?
I know. Yeah. Pad level, man. That's what it's all about. But the Eagles defense with no sacks, and the field was a piece of shit too. And that's a disgrace. I had that written down. That is a disgrace that you play a game, the most important game, the most watched game, you know, of the year, on a field that is a piece of garbage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going back and watching. A lot of the people were tweeting out the video of the Eagles defenders just blowing a tire. Like, as soon as you would turn to go towards Mahomes, your feet would just slide out from under you like you stepped on a piece of ice.
Right.
And just getting traction off the line was impossible. Like, how does that? I mean, where it was painted was even worse.
Right. But it wasn't only where it was painted, unless they painted those other spots green, because they do that from time to time too. Now, the roof was open. Okay. And it's in the desert. As the sun's going down, that moisture probably comes out onto that grass, which would have made it worse. But that's a disgrace. You cannot have that. I mean, you know, I know it worked against both teams, but it seemed like the Eagles were having a worse time of it.
Yeah, they maybe just didn't have the right spikes to be able to handle it. They change shoes all the time based on, you know, the conditions. But, you know, if you're going to have a Super Bowl in a warm weather climate, because it's a spectacle and, you know, you want people to have all the outdoor stuff, then have a grass field, for Christ's sake.
Well, that is grass. That they grow that grass.
Yeah, well, it's shitty grass. Is that like
shitty grass?
Is that Bermuda, Harry?
I don't know what it is. It's not paspalum, I can tell you that.
Is it the Carl Spackler grass that he was growing in Caddyshack? You can play 18 on it and
Kentucky
smoke it.
Sensimilla?
Yes.
Yeah. But how about, I mean, Kansas City had only 24 minutes of possession in this game, 8 minutes in the first half.
That's insane.
They had the ball for 8 minutes and scored 14 points. Now, granted, one was a scoop and score, but they scored 38 points in only 24 minutes and had 6.4 yards per play. I mean, they basically, when they had the ball, could do anything they wanted.
The play that drove me bananas is I think it was the fourth quarter, the scramble by Mahomes on a bum wheel. I mean, how does he scramble on that play for it was a third down?
Yep.
Huge play.
Yep.
And he goes up the middle as he just gets outside the pocket. And I mean, you could see he's not running at full tilt.
No.
But even on that shit ass ankle, he was, oh man, he is unbelievable.
He was 13 of 14 for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns after the injury. This is all in the second half.
Yeah.
He had 1 incomplete pass, ran the ball for 33 yards. I think 26 of it came on the play you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I mean,
didn't get sacked, and that's a huge element.
Nope. I mean, you had the Devontae Smith catch that was overturned. They had to settle for 3 instead of maybe scoring a touchdown. That was in the first half. You remember that?
Yep.
Let's see what else happened. Oh, the Sayamalu penalty
was
huge.
Killer.
Because that and had them, you know, backed them up. They had to take it again, and that's when Hurts made the fumble and the scoop and score.
Yep. Yeah,
Huge.
absolutely. Huge play in the game.
Yeah.
That hit on the first drive that Devontae Smith took as he was going out of bounds.
Oh, yeah.
Holy fuck. I was like, that dude's going to break.
I thought he was going to break in half.
I did too, because he's a beanpole.
Yeah, he really is.
But he got up and was still going over the middle and making catches. And he was great in the game.
What do they call him? The Slim Reaper is one of his nicknames.
I love that.
I love that nickname. But yeah, I thought Jonathan Gannon was out in Arizona with a real estate agent during the second half looking for a new house, because he was interviewing with the Cardinals the day after. I mean, that defense was just, I mean, they had no answers. None.
Well, that's the thing now. Now the Eagles have to replace both Steichen and Gannon.
Yep.
Which is obviously a lot to accomplish. And they had a great year, all said and done. I mean, the Eagles set a record for sacks under Gannon. Let's not forget that. But, they're going to have to replace both of those guys because Steichen goes to the Colts and Gannon's now going to the Cardinals.
There could be more, too, because those two guys might raid the staff of position coaches to come out and elevate them, for in Indianapolis and Arizona, respectively. But, so that's an issue. And then did you see the play that Andy Reid ran, the one to Tony that ended up for a 5-yard touchdown that he apparently studied up with Doug Peterson?
Mm-hmm.
The play's name is called Corn Dog. Did you see this?
Very fitting. Very fitting for Andy. I could see him. I like a burger.
He could devour some corn dogs.
Oh, yeah. He'll eat the stick, too, that the corn dog's on, Harry.
Yes, he will.
Or at least pick his teeth with it.
I thought that was awesome. And then this thing, I went through the whole schedule because I was like, this defense looked very ordinary to bad against a good quarterback. And you go through the season, and somebody else did this after the fact. I see this. They call it the Mickey Mouse Super Bowl run, which I disagree with. You get to the Super Bowls, it's not Mickey Mouse. But they did face a lot of shitty quarterbacks because there are a lot of shitty quarterbacks.
Yeah, there is.
They had Wentz early against Washington. They caught the Jaguars early before they figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler Murray, who stinks. Cooper Rush with the Cowboys the first time
they didn't get that
Cowboys.
the first time.
Right. They had Pickett, who was a rookie early in his rookie year. Davis Mills for the Texans, who stinks out loud.
Yeah.
Heineke, who's not very good either. Matt Ryan, who's shot. They caught the Titans late. The Titans were good early in the season. Something went very wrong, and they derailed like a train in Ohio during the season. Daniel Jones, who blows. Justin Field, who blows. Davis Webb, the next time with the Giants. Remember that?
Yep.
It was at the end of the Giants rested.
Not Joe Webb.
No, not Joe Webb. Although he beat the Eagles
on a Tuesday night.
And then they had Daniel Jones again, Purdy, and then Josh Johnson for most of that game.
Yeah.
So I mean, they really did benefit. And I know that the league, outside of a couple of teams, kind of stinks. But
they didn't see an Allen or a Burrow.
Exactly. Right.
So they didn't see those guys. So,
but to their credit, they took advantage of it. They didn't.
Yeah.
They
only
didn't
play
lose
the teams
those
on your
games.
schedule. Yeah.
So, but
it was a crazy game. We're gonna go to Joey B. Who's gonna produce this next segment. All right.
Oh boy, here we go.
He says first, Harry Mert, what was your cocktail of choice while watching the bowl?
Okay, I'll let you go first.
Well, I was drinking like water and soda.
That's what I thought.
What were you boozing on? How were you sipping vodka crayons?
Cheap vodka and Diet Coke.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Lima was on waitress duty. The next part of Joey B segment, Rihanna's lip syncing. Can we get her rolling? It's horrible.
I have no idea. I mean, I'm out on that. I mean, I think a lot
I didn't watch it. I saw some clips online after.
I think a lot of these acts do the lip syncing in events like that. I mean, Chris
Stapleton
might have done it.
No,
for all we know.
That is not Harry. And that brings us to Joey B's next point in his Chris Stapleton's rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Top 10? I say yes.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things you could bet on, one of the wagers was what color Cowboy hat. Chris Stapleton will be wearing.
Oh, really? Because I know
The
he went
black
way over the 2 minutes and 4 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, he just finished the anthem, actually, Harry. The game hasn't started yet.
Right. Yeah.
But he didn't wear a cowboy hat, so
Right.
all bets became null and void. But no, I thought he was great, and that definitely was not lip sync. You could tell. I thought he did a great job. It was a different take on it as he sang it with just the guitar track that he was playing, and I thought it emitted a lot of emotion, which you saw in Nick Sirianni and others.
How about
tearing
that?
up.
How about that? Man.
So that's the NFL meme of the Super Bowl, by the way.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Oh, yeah, because they'll be spinning that. And then the last one in Joey B's segment, we'll close them out. Rack them. He says, Burkhart and Olsen in the booth for a Super Bowl call. Thoughts? I thought they did a pretty darn good job.
I thought they were pretty good. I've told you before, Olsen needs more economy of words because he gets a little – he's almost like what's his name? The guy we used to have on all the time. Hell of a guy.
What
he does?
Charles
Davis.
Charles Davis. Yeah.
Charles Davis is very wordy.
Yeah, he could talk into the. Oh my goodness!
But he's really good.
Yeah,
but he's very wordy. You got to tighten it up a little bit. I say the same thing about Olsen, but he's a good analyst, and he thought it wasn't a penalty. He thought it shouldn't have been called, at least. The one on Bradbury. I mean, a lot of analysts won't step out on the limb like that in a situation. He did so.
Yeah, and he did it without. He did it very quickly. The thing about that crew calling the game was, it wasn't your like the big name crew. It wasn't Al Michaels or Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, but you could tell they were honored to be there.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't a great call because they're not a great. I don't think they're a great, crew. But I thought they did the game justice. And they didn't try and be the star of the game.
Right.
Romo will do that. So I like Romo, but he will do that sometimes.
Yeah. And Collinsworth at times too.
Yeah.
Would do that. But now they're going to be around again for next season because Brady isn't coming into the booth next year. He's waiting until 2024.
Yeah. I saw that. Like,
you see that?
He goes, all right, I'm going to come to Fox for the $350 million contract. But I'm taking a year off before I get there.
How great is that? See, that's right down. That's right out of my book.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to golf for the year.
Exactly.
Get the handicap in order.
I just joined Seminole. I think I'm going to play a couple of rounds of golf.
That's classic.
Yeah.
What did you think of all the people out on Broad Street after the game, Harry, like jumping around and stuff and going nuts? I thought it was embarrassing.
I don't really understand that.
Yeah,
I don't really get it. But I'm 57 years old.
Yeah, good point.
I'm not gonna get that.
Let me ask you if you get this feeling, because I get this every year with the Super Bowl. I love the Super Bowl and hate the Super Bowl in equal parts, whether my team's in it or not. And here's why.
Okay.
Because it signals the end of the football season in total. This journey that starts at training camp in late July comes to a crashing end at the Super Bowl with this grandiose event. But for that reason, I hate the Super Bowl in equal parts as much as I love it.
Well, okay, I agree with that because it ends the on-the-field product. But the NFL has become such an amazing off-season product where they've got something going every month. We got, the combine later in the month here. Then you got free agency, which is always wild.
Right in the beginning of March.
And then you got the draft and next thing you're in summer, OTAs and training camp is, 20, 21 days away. So while I agree with you, I'm going to miss the games and maybe I'll watch some of this USFL, which starts here soon. I don't know
why.
But the off season in the NFL is what the hot stove used to be in baseball.
Yeah.
The hot stove hasn't been, last year or the year before last, it was pretty good. But by and large, that has kind of gone away. The NFL offseason is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And they've structured it to constantly be tickling you and reminding you that, hey, we may not be playing, but there's still big things happening.
Yeah, you got Aaron Rodgers drama again. He's off in some freaking cave without any
dark room.
I think he went into a cave and he's like eating wild mushrooms or something with no social media, no cell phone.
That's
and he's going to
brilliant, actually.
emerge from the cave and tell everybody what he's going to do next year.
Okay,
About
so
that?
he's gonna come out like Jesus did.
Yeah, don't compare him to Jesus. Come on, man.
I hear he does that for himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be big stories, and you don't even know some of them. And then obviously the draft, and the hype of who's going to be the number one overall. You're going to see guys move up the board, guys move down the board. You're going to get stories that come out for people trying to damage people's draft stock, and
also who's going to buy the Washington Commanders?
Yeah,
because they will be sold, and it's either going to be Jeff Bezos or our buddy Joshua Harris.
Yeah, I heard that he might be in the mix. And
he is in the mix.
Yeah. I mean, the guy already owns an EPL team.
Correct.
He owns the Sixers. He owns the Devils. He owns the Prudential Center. Many other holdings and businesses. And now he might buy an NFL franchise in a huge market.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I think he owns. Is it Crystal Palace? Is that the EPL team that he owns? Yeah.
It's crazy.
I got to tell you about Som Sleep, because if you're having trouble getting enough sleep at night, Som Sleep has you covered. They have the scientifically advanced Som Stack, which includes ingredients that are naturally found in your body, like GABA, magnesium, and melatonin. We all know that sleep is the best form of recovery. Just ask N4L founder and NFL tight end Colin Thompson. It's helped him take his game to the next level. It's very simple. All you do is drink one serving just a half hour before bedtime, and your body's going to naturally calm itself down. Other sleep supplements may leave you groggy in the morning, but not Som Sleep. You'll wake up feeling refreshed and ready to conquer the day. Make sure you check them out at getsom.com. Use the code GEEZ, Jeez, for 10% off your order. Get Som Sleep.
The Eagle fans could have used that right after the Super Bowl to not be on Broad Street trying to climb the grease poles in a loss.
I don't understand why you're trying to climb a pole.
Me neither.
Where
you just want to get up as high as possible,
fall and die.
Yeah.
Or break your neck and be in a wheelchair the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, what? I don't get it.
It's insane. So the Eagle season's over. The NFL season's over. Now we have the Sixers.
Yep.
And they traded Thibault.
Right.
And you have the Flyers, and the countdown to spring training's underway, which is not that far off at this point. I guess does the big 18-wheeler packed with everything leave here next week, like the 21st usually?
Is it the 21st? Because I always thought it was like right around now.
Yeah. Yes, you probably usually mid February.
Yeah.
Pitchers and catchers report maybe in a week or two.
Or are they waiting until Angelo actually retires?
Yeah, maybe.
So he can't say anything about it.
That's a good point. And the first show for the new morning show with the camera, Richie, and about 38 other people.
Right. It's going to be like that Fox dais for the football shows, like 8 guys.
8 guys. Who's going to be the person that's to stand next to the desk, Harry? You know what I mean? So did you listen to any sports radio after the Super Bowl?
None.
Yeah, I was like, I got to stay away.
I didn't watch any pregame stuff leading up to it. I tuned in right around, I want to say 20 after 6, right around the anthem.
Okay. So you came in perfectly.
Yeah, because I was watching the golf.
Yeah.
Cocktailing.
Did you see that Terry Bradshaw is catching some shit? Because
what did he do?
As he's presenting the trophy, he tells Andy Reid, "Come on over here, Andy Reid. Waddle over here." He's told him to waddle over.
Terry Bradshaw asked somebody to waddle. Has he looked in a mirror lately?
Yes, he's the size of a blimp.
I mean, good Lord.
Yeah. That's like him saying, "Hey, Baldy, come over here." Like for a bald guy.
Yeah, he's not talking to Brian Baldinger.
Yeah.
He's talking to you.
Say, Baldy.
He's talking to you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So he's catching shit for that because everybody's outraged. Yeah.
He should because he's as big as a house.
Yeah. Andy should have come over. Are you looking in the mirror?
Right.
Time's yours.
Right. I got 2, you got 4, but I'm still here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm still earning.
Right.
But the thing is I couldn't listen because I just, with the penalty, and really the reason I couldn't listen, I'm not even going to say it was the host that I was afraid to listen to. It was the callers I'd be afraid to listen to.
Oh, okay. Well,
it
would have been a lot of complaining about the officiating, I imagine.
That, yeah. And the defensive
coordinator. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can only imagine Ange just losing to Andy Reid. How can I go out on this note?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't have been surprised if he says, I got to stay another year.
Yep. One more year for 1.8 million, Al.
Right.
Are you in?
Yeah.
I'll be like, sure.
I'll be like, yeah. He take the Wall Street Journal down. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he's in there getting his stocks in.
Right.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
I can't imagine what that must have been like. And Anthony, I'm forlorn. He comes in on the second day and I saw there was some post up or something like, I still can't believe they lost.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. I mean,
well, he didn't drive back, did he?
No, they flew back.
Okay. I was just going to say.
They drove out and flew back.
Right.
But like he's probably torn in a way because he's got his, Spags and the whole thing.
Right,
Andy.
Right.
Yeah.
He's already setting up a day when Spags comes in studio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And sits in for 2 hours.
2?
Yeah. And he'll do like a meat locker with Spags.
Yeah. Me, Spags.
Look at the whole thing. The whole thing.
Joe Ben's going to stop by. Boo.
Who's the Green Bay Packer defensive lineman? Is his last name Clark? He lives local. He's from South Jersey. Yeah. He used to get him in every now and then. Yeah. And
we'll get you in. Gotta get you in.
He played at Iowa, I think. I forget his name.
That was so fun when we were working at the Fanatic. You pointed it out. You're like, Anthony wants to always get everybody in.
Yeah, gotta get you in. Yeah,
everybody on the phone. Yeah, let's go to Bob Mayfair. Yo, Bobby, we gotta get you in. Oh yeah, come by. Yeah, like this is just like the pop over place.
Right. He loved to pop in with the guests, and because they'd always bring him something like food items or something. Yeah.
Strombolis.
Right.
There was always Strombolis there.
Right.
Oh my God.
Just bring him a big bag of the Hers barbecue chips.
Oh.
I've seen him house an entire big bag of those things by himself.
Family size. Harry.
Oh my God. And then the dust is everywhere. Remember when we'd have to come in afterwards and do the show and there'd be shit everywhere?
Yeah. I'd be like, God damn it. When they do this, they got to clean their shit up.
Oh yeah.
You get in there, the microphones are all over the place. Baldy's half drank coffee's there and a half a donut. It was like shit was and after the meat locker, forget it.
Right.
You'd touch the mic to move it down where you wanted it. And there'd be grease on the side of it. It was disgusting.
All right. Now, Renee Cruz here says, I think he's talking about Bradshaw, about when he'd come to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
But it brings me up. The San Francisco fan base is another thing we got to talk about. And their radio guys. Did you see from our buddy, Matt Nahagian's station out there? Did you see their midday show? I think it's their midday show.
Yeah. 95.7 the game. It was pathetic.
Yeah, really. They're doing Die Eagles Die.
Cry Eagles Cry.
Cry Eagles Cry. And they changed the lyrics to the song and gave this rendition on air. Dude, you got your asses kicked.
Yeah.
I know you were down to your 15th string quarterback, but that's not my problem.
Your defense gave up 31 points for Christ's sake.
Yeah. The Eagles ran the ball right down their throat, which nobody really was able to do.
Nope.
During the season.
No.
I mean,
this whole thing of people shitting and bitching and complaining about the I'm not going to complain that the Eagles lost to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
I'm not going to sit there and go nuts about the penalty.
Right.
I'm not doing it because stick taps to the Chiefs. They've down 10 points at halftime. That's only happened once in the last 20 years.
They saw something in the Eagles defense, a tell that they over pursue in their defensive backfield, and they designed a couple of plays at key moments and executed them to perfection. Okay.
Yep. And the other thing they probably saw, Harry, was that there was a lot of problems with getting footing for the pass rush, and they took advantage of that with a quarterback on a bum wheel.
Right. That, and they executed a great punt return. There was no penalty on that punt return. I watched it 6 times. Okay. There was no block in the back like you usually see. And they took advantage of a fumble by the quarterback and ran in for a touchdown. I mean, they basically every opportunity they got, except for hitting the upright on the one field goal, they executed.
Yeah.
They did.
That was off the pipe, Harry. That was like
boom,
a clapper, and it just thumped on it. It was crazy. But yeah, I won't shit on them at all, and I'm not going to do it. It was a great season. It really was. And the biggest takeaway for me is the Jalen Hurts element of it, because
he was fantastic.
that is one big stage at the Super Bowl, and he was not phased at all. At all. So that's a great sign for the Eagles moving forward. And we'll see how they replace these coordinators and do the whole thing. But it's a big offseason for sure.
And now they're going to have to pay the quarterback. So, what other guys are they going to lose? You might have a Kelsey retirement. Who knows? You might have a Brandon Graham retiring. I don't know. Lane Johnson, what's his status? I know he's going to have to get some sort of surgery here. He gutted it out like a true warrior. But, I mean, he's been around for, 10 years, almost 9-10 years?
Chip Kelly's first year.
Yeah, 2013. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I would assume he comes back. But, when you pay the quarterback, that's when you have to start cutting in other areas. So we'll see how they do that. But the Original Fudge Kitchen is the official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Odgies podcast. Original Fudge Kitchen, a staple of the Jersey Shore, 6 locations: Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The Original Fudge Kitchen makes all of their fudge in the store, guaranteeing a delicious product. Stop by, let them know that N4L sent you. But if you're not able to get there in person, not a problem, because they'll ship it right to you all across the USA. We can even send some out to the Niners fans because they'll ship it to California. Be sure to check them out at fudgekitchens.com. The Original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge and sweet treats across the country.
Now, we just mentioned, Angelo and Morgani. I want to bring this up, Harris. So now the football season's over. We need to book some guests here on the Odgies podcast.
Right.
And with Al ending the radio days, I could try and get Angelo on. Having worked with him for so long, but I know he's been just inundated with requests and all that. And when he retires this week, he's going to want to go away for a bit. So I'm not even going to do that. But I see Al all the time down at the Flyers. We eat dinner before games or lunch, whatever it is. And we got to get Morgani on because we got to talk about his new venture. He's going to be doing a podcast.
Awesome.
A hockey pod.
Okay.
And he's going to be doing it, I think, 2 times a week. I'm not sure when it starts.
All right.
And then once a week during the off season.
How long is this going to be? Like,
they said it has to be 20 minutes.
You think he's got it in him?
Yeah. He said, I can go 20 minutes by myself, but you know what I mean? But we got to get Al. I had him on the Stick to Hockey live show.
Yeah.
The week he was going into the NHL.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Him and Billy Clement went in the same class this year.
Yeah.
So we got to get Al on. That would be a good guest, right?
But he likes music too. He's a big music guy.
Yeah. He's been talking to me. He wants to do this other podcast. And I said, you should call it Conversations with Al, or They Call Me Al, based on the Paul Simon song.
Right.
And
Chevy
where he
Chase in the video.
Yeah.
Remember
where
that?
he can have, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Chevy Chase.
Yes.
Great.
But you could have like musical guests on, but he's a big music guy, a big telly guy. He's a Telecaster, man.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we got to get him on for sure. I think we got to get Al on. Maybe next week. I'll text Al today and see if he can come on the Odgies pod next week. Now he doesn't have to clear everything through the company and all that bullshit.
Exactly. Well, I heard he signed a 5-year deal.
Well, he didn't, but he said he did. So he gets an agreement that he's going to stay on to do the podcast for the Odyssey and the whole thing.
Right.
And so he puts out a tweet that he signed a 5-year, or he announces on the morning show that he signed a 5-year deal.
Genius.
And WIP tweets out that the announcement that he signed the 5-year deal. He didn't sign a 5-year deal. He's like, I didn't sign a 5. I go, how did you get 5 years? He goes, I didn't get 5 years. He goes, I just said that. Now they're beholden to me for 5 years. Jones goes, he's fucking brilliant.
He is.
He just says that, and now they have to honor it because he said it on the air.
Jonesy has to be his first guest, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, those two have obviously known each other for a very long time.
And he should get Angelo on at some point in time and do like a reflection on the Flyers and whatever.
Yeah, fire everybody. Let's get it back to the Eagles, Al.
Right.
But yeah, that I can't believe it. I was talking to Jonesy the other day. He's been on that morning show for 21 years.
Jonesy?
Yeah.
Really?
He started going on right after he retired, and he would show up for free for about 2 or 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually, Angelo was able to stump for him to get paid, and making good money too.
Yeah,
doing the 2 days a week, and It really helped launch his post-playing career, but he was smart enough when he got done to
Right.
know, I got to get my name out there right away, and there's no better way to do it than on that morning show. And
Yeah.
he did it, and he's parlayed that into obviously the Flyers job and then the
NBC
national
was
job with
yeah.
TNT. Yeah.
TNT now. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
So,
about that?
yeah, good for
Yeah.
him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a great guy, works hard and grinds. You know, he acts like he doesn't do any prep, but he does.
Right. Right.
And he's a very good communicator as well. We'll have to get Jonesy on too, actually.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
get him
good.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great guy. One of the absolute greatest. I had him and Craig Berube on together,
Oh yeah.
telling stories of their
The
playing days when
Chief.
they played with the Caps
Uh-huh.
with Dale Hunter,
Oh.
Jonesy, and Berube.
Oh, Dale Hunter was awesome.
Oh,
I mean, you hated him if he wasn't on your team, but man, he was good.
And he said that him and Dale Hunter used to just write checks that Berube would have to cash.
Yeah.
He tells this story. They're playing against the Rangers, and it's Brian Leach on that Rangers team. And there's some guy for the Rangers just
Great
comes up and
defenseman.
just running around, hitting everybody, hitting the star players and stuff, you know, trying to make a name for himself, like in his first NHL game. And he keeps like hitting Flyers, like talented players. And eventually Chief walks over during a TV timeout to the Rangers bench and says to Brian Leach, "Get your dog on a leash or I'm coming after you." Guy didn't touch another soul the whole game.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yep.
That's
Or
awesome.
I'm coming
Get
after
your
you.
dog on a leash.
That's what he said to him.
You know who he kind of reminded me of, Hunter? Claude Lemieux.
Yes. Very
the Devils, right?
Just so cheap. Yeah, I mean, Claude Lemieux played for those teams and the brawls with Detroit and in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Claude Lemieux was a rat bastard.
Which in hockey is a good thing.
Yeah.
It really is, if you know, for your team.
Yeah, Hunter was one of those guys too. Another guy we should get on, Harry, is we got to get on Reuben Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Good music conversation. Now he likes like very off the radar musicians. Okay. He's always going to concerts. Like I wouldn't be surprised if him and Mikey Miss were in a concert together.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's an alt guy, but he's into like eclectic music, and he's a musician. He's a good keyboard player.
Yeah, I know he's a musician. What was that place? It used to be the spaghetti warehouse that ended up turning into a music venue. Down on, I think is that Spring Garden, like 8th and Spring Garden, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's still around, but it became like an alt music venue. Mikey Miss used to go there, and the linebacker for the Eagles that played with the Texans and Connor Barwin would be in there because he liked all that kind of stuff too. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, they used to go. Connor Barwin, I think, is tight with those War on Drugs guys.
Yeah, they're from Philly. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
So
Les Bowen too would be good. He likes music.
Les Bowen does.
Yes. I've seen him in a couple concerts. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is he up there in the mosh pit during Slayer, Harry?
Jason Isbell, we were both on the floor at the Fillmore, which is really the only place to be. And I ran into him there. Yeah.
I did not know that Les Bowen would be one of those guys.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Also, we got to get on. We got to get the Chief on Eskin.
I wanted him on today.
I know.
Yeah.
He's got so much. I'm busy, genius. I got to be at Eagles. It's just. He's a. We got to put Mikey Miss on this list, don't we?
Well, yeah, we should have. We should. He's doing his podcast twice a week.
Yeah, doing well.
Yeah.
For
Bet Rivers.
Yeah. Who else would be a good guess? Joey B says, get Rick Beato on. I have messaged him now twice.
Oh, yeah?
And I have not gotten a response.
He's ghosting you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, he doesn't know me from Adam. Maybe I'll hit him again now that I'm verified, Harry.
Oh, you're verified too?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're verified, man. What, you got my tweets on mute, Harry? You got my account muted?
Yeah, I might have you. You might be in there with Nick Cale and Bruno and Aton.
Well, you're not muting much because I don't tweet anymore.
I know. I don't tweet.
Very rarely tweet.
Yeah.
I have gotten off that thing.
We got to do some reviews here too, but I got to tell you about the place to be this time of year, even though it's like 60 here today.
Shots and giggles.
It doesn't matter because there'll be some cold weather coming, and if it's 60 here, it's always warmer in Key West. It's time to migrate to the southernmost city in the continental U.S. That's Key West. Our friends at Shots and Giggles, they've got the go-to locals and wannabe locals bar in Key West, right behind Sloppy Joe's, right next to Tattoos and Scars Saloon, just off Green Street. Shots and Giggles, known for that relaxed atmosphere, cold drinks, and always having a game, which right now will be, hoops and college hoops and hockey on any of their 5 TVs. Steve and Hanya, the owners, they've been there for 18 years. They will take care of you. They're big sports fans. But when you're down there in the Keys this winter, stop by Shots and Giggles, hang out with the awesome bartenders, grab a to-go drink from the takeout window, and watch some sports on the southernmost NFC East bar. More info is shotsandgiggles.com. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram too, at Shots and Giggles KW.
All right. Brian Cunningham says to get Danny Briere on.
Oh, he's a great
He appeared
guy.
on our radio show from time to
Oh,
time.
yeah. He's a great dude.
He is the greatest. My favorite guy that I've ever covered.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Colin says to get Eric from Trenton on. He allegedly still has a putter.
Well, why don't you just do him rather than
I wouldn't know how to book Eric from Trenton. Does he have representation, Harry?
I don't think so.
Should we have our people call his people?
What kind of putter was that?
I don't even know. It was like a flat stick.
Was that a Scotty Cameron? It definitely wasn't a Makefield putter because they weren't out then.
Yes.
Yeah. This predated Makefield.
T from the 203 says, where does the bobblehead giveaway rank in stadium giveaways or sporting event giveaways? They don't do those anymore.
Yeah, they don't.
The bobblehead. Although I did get a gritty hula like bobblehead type thing the other day that we're giving those away at a Flyers game. They give away more like posters and stuff, like I got this retro poster from 2010's night on Throwback Thursdays, and all these players in the 2010s are on there. There's no Flyers goaler on there though. Harry.
No.
Well,
that was back when was that Leighton? Was he back then?
Well, he was very early, and obviously was the goalie in the Cup run, but. I mean, the best goalie of the 2010s for the Flyers was Steve Mason. Sure.
So everything's retro with the Flyers because the current stinks.
Well, it's moving in the right direction, Harry.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be speaking with Torts today, as a matter of fact, at 5:30.
Well, he's the only reason that it's heading in the right direction.
No, they got some players playing good. Players play, coaches.
Well, I mean,
they're
playing for him. He's done a good job.
Yeah, he has done a good job. So I'm talking to him today at 5:30. He does this hockey and hounds thing with me every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
He's big on adopting the dogs and the John and
rescue
Christine
dogs.
Yeah. So I'll be speaking with him today, and he'll be sure to give me some shit before we start recording, because he always does. He's always breaking my balls, and I don't know if I have the cachet to break his balls back.
Oh no,
I should call him short.
He probably wants you to.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy, and I really enjoy my conversations with him. So,
well, you and I were stumping for him before they made the decision.
Harry, we were stumping for him in 6. I'm going to make him aware today.
I mean, come on.
Back on 2016 on the midday program, probably during a riled up segment, we may have been stumping for him. Let's go to a live call, Harry.
Yeah.
Let's get to a couple of recent reviews, Harry. Then we'll put a bow on this bitch. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So this one comes from Scrapple Joe. He says, we got hockey action, yo. These are reviews for the OG's podcast on Apple Podcasts. And he said, great podcast, Philly sports, hockey talk, balls being busted, metal music. It's all here.
That's right.
5 stars. It's beautiful.
Well, we try to talk at least about some stuff that would drive the old program director nuts.
Yeah. All right. Why are you talking about Torts? What does he have to do with the Eagles? M. Christides gave us a review, and here's what he said, Harry. He said, glad I found this. You guys always had great chemistry together, and so far you still do on the pod. So that's another 5-star review.
And who was that from?
M. Christides.
Okay.
All right. The next one comes from MP Roach. Oh, this one says more. You got to hit the button to show it all. He said, 5 stars. As always, great. The content on your show never disappoints, not just sports, but all the different topics always entertain. Just wish it was more than once a week. He said it took Bruno 15 years. So how long till Harry breaks down and invites Jason onto his show for a special event? You're already married, though, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing going on here.
No.
No. In fact, the Alima's leaving on her golf trip tomorrow.
She's going on a golf trip?
She's going on a golf trip with 3 other ladies from the 1912 Club.
And where do they go? Where are they headed?
They're headed to Innisbrook in Florida.
Nice.
Just north of Clearwater.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Danny Cornell tweeted, not Chris Cornell. His
no longer with us.
No longer with him. God rest him. We'll pour one out for him. 5-star review again. He said, outstanding podcast. This show has quickly become a favorite podcast. He said, I listen to sports talk radio more than I should admit, and it has become harder to listen to. Annoying same callers, nothing but Eagles, etc. Jason and Harry keep me laughing and talk a wide variety of topics. I only wish they did more podcasts. Keep up the great work, fellas.
See, everybody wants more, and that's my whole take on it. Leave them wanting more.
Yeah. If they say, my only wish is that they did one less a week, we could accommodate that.
Now, speaking of other things, did you know that the NBA All-Star Weekend is this weekend?
No.
Okay, because hockey just had theirs, right?
Yep.
And their trade deadline is when?
March 3rd.
Okay, so that's coming up. But the NBA one is this weekend, and there's a guy, because of course they do the slam dunk thing and 3-point shooting contest, I guess, and some other stuff. But there's a Sixer in the slam dunk contest this year.
Oh, who's in it?
Max McClung.
Who?
Exactly. I didn't know Max McClung was in the organization. I never heard of him. And I watch a lot of college basketball. This guy played apparently at Georgetown and then transferred to Texas Tech, who's got a half-decent program. But I don't remember this guy. Apparently, he's a white dude. I had to look him up. He's like 6'2". He's a guard. And apparently, he can jump out of the building. Like there's YouTube videos of this guy dunking. Yeah. So he must be like some freak dunker. But he plays in the G League, I believe, for the 87ers.
And he's going to the
So he's not even on the roster, like the head roster. He's on, like, it would be like the 40-man roster in baseball. There's some guy that's not with the big league club, and he's pitching at Lehigh Valley, would be, taking part in the All-Star weekend.
Yeah. Or like if you like the fastest skater competition and you actually brought a guy up from your AHL team
from the Phantoms.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that good? Now, is that good or bad? Because
I don't know, but
we may get more of a spectacle because the players that do these sometimes just go through the motions.
Well, yeah, right. It's hard to get the big stars to do this shit. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch this, and I haven't watched the dunk contest in probably 10 years at least.
Well, then it worked.
What worked they're doing worked. I want to see this guy. I want to see this, some white dude who jumps to the ceiling. Yeah. And I've never seen him play before.
Yeah. Insane vert.
Defying McClung.
Yeah. Defying the logic, Harry, of the movie White Men Can't Jump with Wesley Snipes.
And Woody Harrelson.
Oh,
yeah. Yes. Tremendous movie. Yeah.
All right. One more review here. This one comes from Tim Murphy. He says, yeah, good. Only wish that the 2/5/18, so February 5th, 2018, post Super Bowl episode of The Old Show was on the internet. It's an outrage, he said. Anyway, good show, good chemistry. Tim from Trevos. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. Now, did I get the name wrong? Did they change? Because weren't they the 87ers at one point in Delaware?
Delaware Bluecoats now?
But now are they the Bluecoats now?
I don't even know.
They might have been. They might have changed the name, but they used to be the 87ers.
Yeah. I'm trying to take sport. I can't get with these, G League teams. I can't follow all of it.
No. I mean, come on.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to eliminate some sports from my dossier, not add. You know what I mean? I got F1 that's come in like a train, taking up a lot of bandwidth over here.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the same dudes that did that F1 podcast, the golf ones dropped.
You mean Drive to Survive? On
Correct.
Netflix. Yeah.
The golf one dropped today.
Oh,
all the 8 episodes. I think there's 8 episodes on Netflix, and you can binge them all if you want. I'm going to watch episode 1 tonight because we're going to talk about that and a bunch of other shit tomorrow on the Swing It and Ding It podcast. But that's out, and it's supposed to be awesome because those guys that did Drive to Survive, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they have it's the greatest way to market sports because people that haven't played pro sports, or whether you were an athlete in some form growing up or whatever or not, the same curiosity is there. What is happening the other 21 hours of the day when these guys are not on TV?
Right.
We have these like visions in our head of what their lives are like, what it's like behind the scenes, what the locker room's like. People like ask me like, when the players after a game travel to Calgary, is there food on the flight? Like those things. What are they doing on the plane?
Are they drinking?
Yeah,
are they playing cards in the back and drinking?
They're playing cards.
Yeah.
The first thing that happens when an NHL team gets on the flight, Harry, is everybody disrobes out of the suit and puts on something comfortable for the flight.
So they're allowed to.
It could be a jump, an hour flight, and they all get into comfortable clothes for the flight.
And that's amazing because when I flew with the Temple football team, when we'd go to do the road games, you had to suit up. And I felt for these guys. I mean, you got some 6'4", 300-pound offensive linemen, wrapped up in a suit, sitting in a freaking tight ass, coach seat, for a 3.5-hour flight to Texas.
Yeah.
And we were never allowed to. You could take your jacket off, but you couldn't.
Well, it's not a charter. Was it a charter?
Yeah, it was a charter.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to get comfortable on the plane, Harry.
Yeah.
So you don't have snakes on the plane.
I agree. It's called Full Swing, though. The behind the scenes thing on the tour.
Yeah, because that the behind the scenes of the PGA Tour, it is petty.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And very competitive. And guys probably bitching about other guys, and not to mention the women, the wives, the girlfriends,
the wags.
Yeah, there's going to be.
And plus, you have the whole division now with the Live Tour and the PGA Tour, so it's all this other drama. So
I'm sure that'll be featured in this.
Yeah,
I can't wait to watch it. I love those shows. They do such a great job on them.
Yeah,
and those Drive to Survive, those producers, fuck, did they do? I mean, did they get the hooks in me? Oh, I'm counting down the days now, like 3 weeks until the first race.
And where's that? Where's the first one?
In Bahrain.
So that's like the Middle East.
Yeah, the Middle East tour starts. You have Bahrain. You'll have Jeddah Corniche, which is in Saudi Arabia. So, and then they'll make their way to Australia and the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, they're all over 23 races this year.
When is the first United States appearance?
In May. That's the Miami one.
Miami
Grand Prix. Yeah.
Now, are you going to go to any of these in the States? Don't they go to Austin, Texas too?
Yeah, they go. So they'll go to Miami in May. They'll go to Austin in October, and they'll be in Vegas in November.
Oh wow, Austin in October. Maybe the UT Longhorns are playing at home that weekend.
It's like the week before. It's when that musical festival
South by Southwest.
Yeah. And it's like the week before Halloween.
Okay. Wow.
Which is a great time down there.
No kidding.
And that's one of those tracks that, Vegas is a street circuit. They're going up and down the strip and all around the streets of Vegas.
Yeah.
So that's more I'd rather go to Dakota, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, because you can see more of the track. So, and that's a really cool track with a great S section in the first sector. So
listen to you. You got all the lingo down and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm going to start using the word they always use, because all the English and European guys, they call everybody mate.
Yeah, I like that.
I got a grip on my tires, mate.
Yeah, so does the Australians. The Aussies do that too. Yeah.
I
think South African dudes do it too.
Oh, do they?
I think so.
I'm a big fan of the term mate.
Yeah, me too.
Do we have any other sponsors we need to check in with, Harry?
No, we're all booked up.
All right, good. All right, so that puts a wrap on it. We'll be back next week, maybe with Al Morgani.
So, that'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll see if
Hall of Famer.
If Alphonse, the Hall of Famer, can join us for next week's episode. We went almost an hour today, so we gave you more than we usually do. Be happy with it.
Exactly.
All right, that's episode 51 Odd G's Pod. Last word to Harry.
And
you can't go birds.
No, I can't. You caught me off guard here. I don't know. I got nothing. Go geez. Tiger Woods. Tiger returns this week.
Tiger?
Yes.
Oh, we have to get the Colonel on his shitty dial-up.
The first time he's played in a regular PGA Tour event in years.
Wow, since the accident.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. All right, we'll be watching Tagger. We'll see if he can make it this Saturday at the cut. All right, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time on the